tell you the most truth I think you can handle, and most important of all, in the way you need to get it, not in the way I need to deliver it. And what that means is, if you're going to be courageous, you have to think about who's going to be on the other side of that very honest conversation, and how do they need to hear this message. Now I'm going to ask two of you to do this with me. This gentleman, Mark, and Lynn. You both work for me, and you've been involved in a project, and it has failed miserably. So as your manager, I need to talk with you about that, right? Okay, now, here's what we do as managers. I'm going to have to talk to them both about the same thing, so I'm just going to have them both in the office, and I'm going to talk to them both at the same time, because that's the easiest thing for me as a manager. Here's the problem with that. One, if you've had some sort of performance issue, I don't care, Mark, that you and Lynn have had the same performance issue. You don't want anybody to be witness to that. So they deserve their own private conversation, which means you're going to have to do it twice as a manager. But here's the most important thing. Everybody's not the same. The way you see the work world is different from the way other people see the work world. So a lot of times, you deliver, in fact, most every time, you deliver information to people the way you like to get it. The good news is you're succeeding with about 25% of the people out there. The bad news is you're failing with 3/4 of them. So I've got to think about who's going to be on the receiving end of this. So I'm going to give you both characters. All right, Mark, you're my sensitive employee. Okay, whenever I talk to you about any kind of performance issue, you're back in my office for the next week going, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. I don't know how I could have done that. I'm so sorry. It is a week before you get back on track. Lynn, you're my in-your-face person. Everybody knows what you think. There's no filter on you. You have what we call low self-monitoring. Okay? So you've both failed at this. I got to talk to you. So Mark, when I sit down to talk with you about the project, here's how I start that conversation. Mark, I think we would both agree that you didn't get the best outcome on that last project. So here's what I want to do. Let's start at the beginning of the project. I want you to take me through it and tell me where you think it got off track. And let's talk about what kind of different decisions you would make so the next time you have a project like that, it's a screaming success. Okay? And then we start walking through the project. All right? When I go to talk to Lynn about exactly the same thing, here's how I do it. Lynn, that last project was a disaster. It can never happen again. Tell me what you're going to do differently so we never have that outcome again. Now, I got to tell you, I can do this one from now till the cows come home. This is my comfort zone. This is not. And I have to really geek myself up to do it that way because it feels mean to me. But I want you to put yourself in Lynn's shoes, or at least the character I gave Lynn. If I do that soft thing with her, what do you think goes through her head? She's not being direct, yeah? It's not as important. If it was important, Margaret would be more upset because that's the standard she lives with. Now, if I do that, then you're destined to continue to repeat the same error over and over again. Shame on me. I've talked to you about it, but I haven't been effective. I haven't been courageous, and I haven't stepped up. Now, what do you think happens to Mark, given the character I gave him, if I do with him what I just did with Lynn? He's going to cry. He's going to cry. Yeah. It'll be 3 or 4 weeks before he's effective at all in the workplace, and he's liable to quit. So here's what I've done. I've failed miserably with both of them. Management courage says I'm the most honest I can be. I deliver it in the way the person can best receive it, and they can best use it.